welcome to another hour of Gate City Chronicles, the weekly magazine dedicated to the city of Nashua. I'm Kevin Avard, your host. Welcome aboard. Today I have a wonderful guest, photographer, another photographer. His name is Joe DiMattia. Welcome aboard.
Thanks.
So, how are you?
Doing great.
Great.
Keeping busy.
Keeping busy. Joe, you do a lot of. We had a photographer on not too long ago, and he has his material in museums. Do you have anything in museums or?
I don't, but I do have a gallery show coming up this week at the Kimball Jenkins Estate in Concord, New Hampshire.
Oh.
It's a show. I'm not the only photographer in it. It's called I Do the Art of Wedding Photography, because wedding photography has evolved quite a bit from 20 or 30 or 40 years ago. They're not the stiff, formal pose shots. You're getting more they call it lifestyle photography now, so you're capturing moments as they happen.
Right.
You're capturing emotion. You're creating art, too. You do a lot of fashion-y style posing with your brides and your grooms, and that's what the modern brides and grooms are looking for.
Interesting.
Things like this.
Wonderful. Now, let me ask you a few questions before we get into some of your work. You've been in photography for, what, a few years, 10 years, 5 years?
I started doing it professionally about 6 or 7 years ago, but I've always had a camera in my hand. When I was 16, which was a long time ago,
yeah,
you remember, I got my first film SLR. It had interchangeable lenses, and it was a Pentax K1000. And
oh, I had one of those.
yeah,
yeah.
I think most people did.
Yeah.
A lot of it's funny because with the advent of digital, who really uses film? Well, photography students devour it. Like at the colleges, they think it's really cool and it's artsy, and it is, but it's also more expensive. And
right.
Give me digital now. I'd much rather shoot digitally.
So you don't use the 1000 speed or the black and white film or anything like that?
No, I can do it all with the digital camera. I can shoot at high ISOs. You know, like I can shoot at 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, 6000.
Wow.
I mean, you can shoot almost in the dark with some of these newer cameras now and the right lenses. And
so what got you interested in this as a profession?
I always enjoyed photography. I always had the camera with me whenever I would go to, events or family gatherings,
right.
Things like that. And I always enjoyed taking people pictures.
So you were the Uncle Eddie of the family.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, or the paparazzi.
Much younger, though. Yeah. I prefer to be behind the camera though, rather than in front of it.
Yeah, same here.
But yeah, so that's how it started when I was 16, and it. I still have that camera, and it still works, but it doesn't get used anymore.
Right. So you had a camera with you. You used it at a lot of events, and then all of a sudden something clicked.
Yeah. Well, good one. Yeah, basically, friends would ask me to do their weddings, even as a younger, in my 20s. And I'll admit I had no clue what I was doing. It was a lot different, though, back then.
Right.
Basically, you just had to get some formals and, the family pictures with the bride and groom. And, you just do some stiff formals even with the bride and groom back then.
Right.
And I didn't really have much of it. It's funny, I've looked at some of my old stuff from 20 years ago, and I'm kind of mortified when I look at it. They were happy with it.
Right.
But to me, it was more like snapshot quality photography. Anybody could have taken it.
And they didn't have digital back then either.
Right. We didn't even know what digital. We didn't even have computers back then.
Right.
So that even like computers have really changed the state of photography too, because you really need a computer nowadays to edit your photos.
All right. Do you doctor up some of your photos after you?
A little. I don't doctor them up a lot. Digital is softer than film, so it needs to be sharpened a bit, but less is more. Mm-hmm. A lot of photographers tend to go way overboard with the Photoshop, and they'll look like plastic Barbie dolls. Like this, for example, that's done with makeup. It's not. I haven't retouched this subject hardly at all.
Right, so all her shadows, and that's not the Photoshop.
Yeah, you're using light, and we had a really good makeup artist, and she gave her like a fashion-y look, and she just had a very smooth. She has a great complexion anyway.
Now this is a family show. Everything on here is safe, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm noticing that this is obviously a wedding dress and stuff. Now, you told me before we got on the air that this was in 20-degree weather.
Yes, this was 20 degrees out.
All right, so she's an actress too, then.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah.
She's a very good model. She's one of my muses. We've shot together about 12 times. One of the reasons why I brought this is just to give an example of, a lot of brides, they love their wedding gown. And a lot of them will try it on over and over before the wedding day. But then after the wedding day, now they don't get the chance to wear it anymore. Well, I do something called, there's been a trend called trash the dress, which has become very popular, but I don't really like that because I can't really, I don't think it's very artsy or beautiful, creates beautiful images when you're dumping dirt on the bride or food or smearing cake on her with her gorgeous wedding gown and then destroying it.
Right.
I prefer doing with my brides after the wedding something called cherish the dress. And they get a second chance to wear their gown. We choose a location. It might be like Plum Island in Newburyport.
Nice.
Might be traipsing around the streets of Boston, which I'll show you a photo later that's in there when we did that.
Was she trashing her dress right here? I noticed there's a rip.
Well, this dress here was actually an antique wedding gown. The rip was very tiny when we started. I think the dress was disintegrating as we proceeded with the shoot. It was ripping at the seams, and although it kind of added to the whole atmosphere. This we did at a friend. I have another friend in Maine who has a studio in Biddeford, and she lives in this great mill building with all this grungy textures and bricks and peeling paint, and it was the perfect location for it's kind of a nice contrast. You get this beautiful subject in this really grungy location, and I really enjoy that type of stuff.
You were telling me that you travel everywhere. You go to Florida, you go everywhere, and you're on demand.
Yeah, wherever somebody wants me to go. I love to travel.
Right.
I did a wedding. My first wedding I think I traveled to was Michigan about maybe 5 years ago. No place exotic.
Right.
And then I got a little more exotic one in Florida about a year later. But that was quite heavy.
Nice catch.
It was quite hot that time.
Yeah.
So they got married in June. I was excited when they said, "Oh, we live in Florida," but then they told me they got married in June. I wasn't quite as excited.
Yeah.
I decided I could not live there other than December through March, I think.
Right.
But it was a fun experience. Beautiful bride. We got gorgeous beach pictures. The sky was incredible later on that night.
You've taken a lot of political pictures too, haven't you?
I actually traveled with. I have. I traveled with the Gingrich campaign right before the primary for a day, which was kind of fun and interesting. It was very busy. I don't know how any of these candidates can keep up that pace for an entire day. I mean, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
And I wasn't working as hard as they were. I just had to keep running. But I actually did it with a friend of mine, McElroy Weddings. Well, actually, McElroy Films. He's based out of Boston, Burlington, Mass. He also does wedding videography. And we'll get into that later, but I'm going to be teaming up with him doing the photography portion of his business this year, too. So,
interesting.
Yeah, he works in a lot of the really higher-end venues in Boston. He did 100 weddings last year.
How many do you average every year?
Right now, I'm right around 20.
20.
I'd like to get maybe another 10. It takes up every weekend. Or I'd like to get, I wouldn't mind doing more, maybe even 40, but have them spread out a little more. Most of my wedding business comes right in the summer months and into the fall. Winter gets pretty slow.
Looking at this photo, very pretty, very nice. Is this also part of a wedding picture?
This,
or is this a family photo?
Well, actually, this is an engagement session.
Oh.
We did this in Boston. This was one of my beautiful brides from last, we did her wedding in the fall, I believe. And she found me online. I have a good internet presence. You know, I have my website, obviously.
What is your website?
It's DiMattiaphotography.net.
.net. Okay.
And then when you come to the splash page, you have the option to go to my Facebook business page where all my new work gets put up all the time. I'm always updating that. There's also the entrance for a client site where they go to their own galleries. They can order prints and canvas gallery wraps. And that's where they can see all of their wedding photos once I've edited them.
Everything that you have is usually online. You can look at it. Now, you
Yes.
also have a Twitter account too, as well.
I do. DiMattia Photo.
DiMattia Photo.
And
So people,
tweet fairly regularly.
This is generally a national show, but I chose you because you cover such a wide area, and obviously you can come down to Nashua at any time and hook up
right.
and do weddings.
Yeah, I've done weddings at the Nashua Country Club, and so I've done them all around.
Right.
I'm mostly in New England, but like I said, I have traveled. I've been to Michigan, Illinois, Florida. I did 2 weddings in Ohio this year alone. So,
so you're on demand. So if somebody wants to contact you, what's the best time to contact you?
Anytime. If I'm sleeping, I'll get the message when I wake up in the morning.
Right. Okay. So tell us a little bit about this. It's just an engagement?
Yeah, this is an engagement session we did in Boston last. Actually, it was funny because this engagement session I did probably 8 months before the actual wedding. So it was quite a time frame between the engagement session and the wedding. It's probably a little more normal, but she booked me fairly early into the process.
Right.
She really liked my work.
Now, do you set up the events, or do you just sit down and interview them? Say, well, what do you want? How do you go? What's the general process?
Yeah, I'll usually meet with the couple first, and I find out how they met, if there's anything they like to do together, a special place. Like sometimes they might have got engaged someplace special, and so we could use that for an engagement session. Try to keep it a little more natural, get them relaxed.
Right.
They lived close to Boston, so they thought Boston would be a good place. And there's lots of great. This was believe it or not, this was an alleyway in the North End. You can't really tell other than the brick, but
right.
But light just bouncing around in there. Alleys actually have nice.
So what else
light.
you have here? I'll let you do this because I'm pretty fumbly here.
Let's see, what else do we have?
Oh, she's back.
She's back. This is Jessie. She actually is a local model. If there's any photographers watching, she is known as Jessica Akara, and she is fabulous to work with.
Now, what does that mean to me?
That she's fabulous to work with?
Yeah.
She is, it's funny because working with a good model is a lot different than working with a regular person.
Right.
She knows how she looks best, what angles flatter her the best, and she just knows how to pose. She brings emotion and expression. Every time you click that shutter, you get a different pose, a different look.
So are you the guy just going ahead, show me love? Okay, show me anger.
Yeah.
Right?
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually with a good model, I can just, like I might have a location like this, which I wanted to do, and we just put her in there and she comes to life. She's just like a whole new person.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't trying to be too funny, but I'm thinking of the what's their the guy who says "Show me love." You know who I'm talking about, right?
I think I do, yeah.
Not Dr. Evil, but what's his name?
I can't even remember now.
Oh, forget it. All right, so what do we have?
Now this here is black and white's very timeless, and that's the beauty of digital. I don't have to go out and buy black and white film. I can convert it to black and white in the digital darkroom on my computer.
Right. Are these models, or again?
No, this is a real couple. These are actually friends of mine. They got married about maybe 4 years ago. They live in Cambridge, and they didn't really have any good wedding photos. I think they hired a family friend, and a lot of times
Uncle Eddie.
Yeah, Uncle Eddie. He's got a camera.
Right.
He's got a couple of lenses, so he's a professional. You know, that's what
cheap.
they think. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot, and this is what I would recommend against is hiring somebody who's cheap.
Right.
Or it depends. I mean, sometimes you can get a good photographer for cheap money, but generally you can't because professional quality lenses are very expensive. I mean, most of mine start about $1,500. My most expensive lens was $2,400. Oh. So, I mean, that's, add up 2 of those, and there's my car that I'm driving. So.
Is this a Cherish the Dress?
This is actually a Cherish the Dress session, because I knew Kelsey could fit in her gown. That wasn't an issue at all. So, and they live in Cambridge, so we traipsed around Boston one afternoon. She had her gown on. David just put on, a hat, suspenders. He looked pretty dapper, actually, and we just explored the North End and some other areas in Boston, and they got some gorgeous shots. I had her running through the fountain. There's a couple of fountains right in front of the north end. Had her running through there with her gown, and he was running with her, and got some fun photos there. So they were very pleased with the session. And it gave her dress a new life, and she got photos she can actually hang on her wall now, too.
Do you do video, too?
I don't.
Okay.
But McElroy Weddings down in Burlington, Mass.,
Okay.
his work is fantastic. He uses high-def video cameras. He uses digital SLRs, and his video work is very cinematic. It looks like you're watching a movie.
Okay, so what else do we have here? These are beautiful.
Thanks. This was a special wedding. Her parents are very dear friends of mine, and I remember when Kimber was born, so I feel a little old. But she got married last June. Beautiful location in Sudbury, Mass. The name escapes me now, but it's got the stone. It's a stone mill with a big water wheel in Sudbury. And this was actually have a gorgeous little chapel. And I love working with natural light, but I'm not just a natural light photographer. Usually if someone says they're just a natural light photographer, it means they don't know how to use flash, they don't know how to use light off camera. It just means basically, you know, they have to use what's there because they don't know how to use anything else.
But you like it and like to work with it.
I do like natural light a lot, and I tend to work with it most of the time. But I can add off-camera strobes. I have studio strobes. I have flashes. They can all be controlled wirelessly, and I can add a little punch. But right here, there's a window.
Right.
She's right at a window, and the way it's coming in, you can see it just makes these great catch lights in her eyes, and that usually will make a person's eyes pop, and it brings them to life. So you really want to look for, you want to get the catch lights in your subject's eyes when you're photographing them.
Do you have a studio?
I don't.
Okay.
But because most of the work I do is weddings. I'm almost exclusively a wedding photographer. I prefer it. I like to specialize in weddings because a lot of photographers, if you go on their website, they say, when it lists what they do weddings, they do car shows, they do families and seniors and pets and this thing and that thing and sports. And it's like, okay, so what are you good at, you know?
So you don't, okay, look at the little baby. Come on,
Right.
smile, smile, Johnny, smile,
I mean,
Johnny.
if somebody calls me and wants to do, you know, especially my brides, I'm not going to turn any of my previous clients away. They have a baby, I'll do a maternity session.
Okay.
It's not my specialty, but I can usually come up with some creative ideas and make them fun.
Right.
I'll do a newborn shoot, but it's not my specialty. But my clients, you know, I'm familiar with them, I know them, I get to be friends with them, so I'm not going to turn them away, obviously. I do high school seniors. I've been getting away from that the last couple of years. I haven't been doing as many. Probably the first 3 or 4 years when I started doing this professionally, I was probably averaging about 30, 35. Not a lot, but the last 2 years I've probably only done maybe 8 or 10, but I haven't pursued it.
Okay.
Because like I said, I prefer the weddings. I really enjoy doing them. They're not for the faint of heart. A lot of
I've slung out a few of them.
I mean, a lot of photographers get into wedding photography because
Do you do bar mitzvahs? Or
I actually did my first bat mitzvah this past summer, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm hoping to do a lot more of those.
Okay. Nice.
You know, it's like doing a wedding with 13-year-olds, basically.
Baptisms?
I could, if someone asked me to do it, I could. One thing I would really like to do, it might be a little gross, is like and it's actually getting to be a trend now. A lot of couples want this done is when they have their first child. They have a photographer in the delivery room.
Okay.
And you can capture the whole event. And I think if you do it the right way, I think it can be done very beautifully. I've seen some
So we're going from gross to beautiful now.
Yeah.
We're going to clarify.
Well, you know, because this is a lot of,
Yeah,
you know, I don't have any kids, but...
Right. Okay, again, okay, beautiful brides, beautiful dresses.
Yep, this was a really fun wedding. One of my favorites this summer. A really fun couple. They got engaged, and then they were married. They planned their wedding within about 2 months, I think. They put the whole thing together right after they got engaged because her sister and brother-in-law teach English as a second. They teach English in China
Oh.
So they were going to be back in the States for a very small window. So if they wanted them there, they had to get married when they were back in the States. So
Noticing the color, the
yeah,
sharpness of the...
I'm amazed that she put this together so quickly because she had all these great little details. I love details in the wedding.
Right.
She was beautiful, and she had this gorgeous gown. I don't know if you can see the detail, but she just got some great detail in the dress.
Yeah.
But yeah, the colors popped in the flowers. It was a really sweet wedding too. Her dad had died of brain cancer a year or so earlier, so it was kind of like a bittersweet day too. You know, there was some tears, but it was just all around a really beautiful ceremony. They got married actually at some friends of mine's house. They're on 55 acres in Hopkinton, and they're kind of on a mountain, kind of. You can overlook these mountains where they are, but the sun was setting, so there was this gorgeous light just coming in behind her and her husband as the sun went down, and just really sweet. So,
do you plan on publishing any of your work?
I actually am going to start submitting things to the different wedding magazines. It's something I haven't done yet.
Right.
A lot of my photographer friends do it, and they get their stuff published, and it's good advertising.
This looks, I mean, the subjects are beautiful, the photos are beautiful. What else do we have here?
There's one more. I don't know which one this is. Let's see. Oh, okay.
Oh, she's back.
Jessie is back again. That's another session. Now, this is not wedding related at all, but one of the weddings is pretty much my main business. One of the other things I really enjoy doing is doing some model work and helping models build their portfolios.
Oh, interesting.
It's also a good way to learn studio lighting. I do rent studios. I do have a studio that I rent. I'm part of a co-op of the Studio of Photographic Arts in Manchester. Their website is thesofa, SOPHA.com. If you're a photographer and you can't really afford a studio, and you may not do that much studio work, it's like a co-op. You can become a member for under $300 a year, and then your studio time is very reasonable, and it includes all your equipment, all your lights, your modifiers. It's, I think the studio is 6,000 square feet, and they have two different studios, Studio A, Studio B, and Studio A is about 2,600 square feet. So what I will do in the studio is I'll get models in there, and then I'll start playing with the lighting so I can learn how to use different modifiers, because I need to, if you can master studio lighting,
right.
excuse me, you can use those same principles outdoors.
We have some delicious water here for you.
Thanks.
All right. So, okay, so if somebody wants to find a photographer to do modeling, or if somebody wants to do modeling and find a photographer, they can call you.
They can call me, yeah.
If somebody has a wedding, how long should they plan in advance? What helps you?
I am booking up pretty quickly this year. The earlier the better.
Obviously, yeah.
I actually have a wedding booked for 2013 already, so which is kind of funny. But
do you take MasterCard?
I do actually. Thanks to the amazing apps on the iPhone.
Wonderful.
I have an app called Square, and I don't even need. I have a slider that goes on top of my iPhone, but I can actually punch in the card manually. I actually did work for Walt Disney World last week.
Oh, interesting.
And yeah, that was kind of interesting that they called me out of the blue. And the Epcot's doing a new exhibit called Habit Heroes. And I guess it's through Anthem and Blue Cross Blue Shield, a couple of health insurance companies. And basically they're highlighting a couple of different real folks that have had some lifestyle changes. And one of the women they picked to showcase in this exhibit lives in Wolfboro, New Hampshire. And so I had to go down and take some headshots of her and get her in some fun poses outside. It was snowing, of course. It was last Tuesday, and it was snowing like crazy. Normally, I wouldn't even leave my house on a day like that, but I had no choice.
Yeah. It's Disney.
Right, and so it's like I wasn't going to say no to Disney, and they paid very, very well.
Wonderful.
It was like doing a wedding and only having to work for 3 hours. But the reason why I brought that up was because rather than going through all the paperwork, they asked me if I took, Visa. I was like, well, yeah, I can. So I actually got paid as soon as I was done. I just punched in the numbers manually, and I was paid, the next day.
Wonderful. So tell me again, your website is?
DiMattiaphotography.net.
Okay, and you're on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook.
And if somebody just asks you to like them, will you just hit the like?
Yeah. they can, if they find me, I also have my personal page, which a lot of my brides and clients are part of too, just under Joe DiMattia. But my business page is DiMattia Photography, and that gets updated with whatever recent work I've done. It's always up there. I don't always update my website as frequently as I should. I actually need to revamp all the galleries on there, I think. But most people don't know. They still find me. That's how I get, probably 90% of my work comes from people finding me. I have a very high Google ranking.
Okay. So they can Google you
Yeah,
as
if
well.
they just punch in Concord Wedding Photographer, I'm usually always at the top of the page. So.
Concord Wedding Photographer?
Right.
And that's you. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, and would you come back at another time and show us some more of your work?
Sure.
All right.
Love to.
Great. So that's DiMattiaPhotography.net.
.net.
You're on Twitter.
I'm on Twitter at DiMattia Photo.
And?
Facebook is DiMattia Photography, and also Joe DiMattia.
Great. Joe, thank you very much.
Great. Thank you.
All right, and we'll be right back. Thank you. And welcome back to Gate City Chronicles with our new guest here from Best Fitness here in Nashua, New Hampshire. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin, for having us.
I appreciate you guys coming along.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so you guys are in the fitness industry, and we're a few months now into the new year. By the time people see the show, we'll actually been a few months into the new year. And how's it going? Are people still keeping to their commitments?
It's going very good. It's very busy at our gym.
Yeah.
So we have a lot to offer for everybody.
Okay.
All the different individuals.
Now, Best Fitness, not to be confused with anybody else in town, just we're focusing with you guys right now. You have a number of locations.
We do.
You have one here in Nashua.
Yep. We also have Chelmsford, Mass, Drum Hill, which is a 24-hour location.
Oh.
We have some in New York and Pennsylvania as well. Albany, Schenectady, Erie, Pennsylvania, Tonawanda, New York. We're actually going to be opening up 2 new ones, Buffalo, New York, and Lowell, Mass.
Hey, you know what? I forgot to introduce you guys, so let me start off with Sean first.
Sure.
Sean, you are the
fitness director.
fitness director at Best Fitness.
Yep.
You're in the Nashua
That's
facility?
correct, at the Nashua location.
Okay, and Anthony?
My name's Anthony Camacho. I'm the operations manager at Best Fitness in Nashua.
Okay, so you're, okay, and you are?
I am Scott Fournier.
Yes, you are.
I'm the membership manager, Best Fitness in Nashua.
Okay, so we see your faces pretty regularly when somebody comes to the gym.
Absolutely.
Right,
Correct.
and where's the gym located?
It's on 55 Northeastern Boulevard.
Okay, that's on this side of the highway.
Exactly, yeah.
The,
right off exit 4.
Exit 4, okay.
It's right next to the FAA.
Okay, how long have you guys been there?
Since 1997.
1997. Best Fitness has been there that long?
Yeah, we were World Gym before and then became Best Fitness. We've been there for a while, so.
All right, and if my recollection, it's right next to the Boston Billiards, actually.
It is.
It is,
Right,
yep.
so if you're driving down south of 3, you look to your right, you see one or the other.
There we are right there.
Right, nice. Now, what's the square footage of this gym? This is one of the larger gyms.
Yeah, it's 42,000 square foot gym.
Wow. Okay, interesting. So, all right, let's get back to, let's start off with you, Sean.
Sure.
All right, so you are the fitness director.
Correct. I'm in charge of all the fitness services at the facility.
And what does that mean?
You know, when people come in and they want to take a look around and you know, think about joining the facility, they'll take a tour with one of our fitness counselors, and then after they join, or even prospective members, if they want to try out, they'll have an opportunity to work with myself or my assistant, Jerry Brown. And we usually talk to them a little bit about their goals, their plan, you know, what they're going to be doing for their exercise routine, and then we offer them a training session, like a trial training session to get them started. So we give a platform for where they should start from.
You know, at the beginning of the year, everybody says, well, I'm going to get in shape. You know, I'm probably 30 pounds, 20 pounds, 15 pounds plus, whatever, overweight. Yep. They come to the gym. They probably haven't been athletes all their lives. Right. They see Biggest Loser or something like that.
Right.
They come to you and they say, help me. What are some of the biggest obstacles that you have? Is it setting realistic goals? What is it that you try to get it instilled into their minds when they first come to your gym?
It's a good question. I mean, what ends up happening is many people join fitness centers or, you know, martial arts studios or yoga studios with the intention of getting in shape. You know, most of them maybe want to lose a few pounds, just, you know, get in better health, feel better, you know, every day, have more energy. But the biggest obstacle challenge that we find in the training industry is that the client doesn't have realistic goals. You know, they want to lose X number of pounds, but they don't really know how to do it. And what they see on, you know, advertised commercials or programming like, you know, The Biggest Loser is, working a lot on treadmills and doing a lot of cardio and running and having a trainer scream at them and, as it's kind of glorified.
Right.
But in reality, we need to talk to them originally and figure out what their goals are going to be. So I usually ask every client in a sentence or two, how do you want to change your body? What do you want to do? And then they kind of give me some feedback. And then from there, we lay out a discussion on what is going to be involved in order to obtain what the goals are. And I always set clear expectations for them from the beginning, how much is going to be, safe, weight loss. So if they want to lose 20 or 30 pounds, it's going to take, between 3 and 6 months. It's not going to be, 20 days and all of a sudden that weight is off. It does take time. I mean, it takes time to gain weight and it's going to take time to lose it.
Take it, and so you also deal with the health issues as far as the diets and stuff now?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, and
Yep.
you have professionals on site to discuss that with the...
We do, yeah. What the personal trainers or the fitness professionals use is a software program called myapexfitness.com, and that's one of the ones that we use as a tool, in our library to help clients get a better understanding of how many calories they should, utilize on a daily basis or ingest, and then at the same time what kind of nutrient values it should be. So, from protein and carbohydrates to fat. I mean, there's a little bit involved. It's not just throwing a dart in the wall and say, I should eat 1,500 calories because I'm a guy and I'm 180 pounds. I mean, it's not like that.
So if somebody comes in and they're working out a little bit, if they want to get their body mass index, do you offer that?
We do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we do, and it's free. There's never a charge for that. And anytime any of the clients or members want to come up to us and ask us about that, we usually set a time for them to come in, and it gives us a little bit to talk to them, give them a weigh-in. We do bioelectrical impedance device, which it's pretty common in the industry these days, where they we program in their height, their weight, and things like that, and it pretty much sends an impulse through their body and returns at the rate of speed based on their lean mass, and it helps define what their first initial level is, and then from there again it gives trainers a good platform to discuss. Okay, if you want to lose 4% body fat, it's going to take 60 to 90 days, and this is how we're going to achieve that.
Nice.
The My Apex website, that's complement to all the members, right?
Yeah, that's a good point too. Usually people would have to pay for that service through Apex, but we offer it free for any personal training client or any member that that signs up with our training program.
So the facility is over 40,000 square feet, so you definitely need an operations manager.
Yep.
That's where you come in. What are some of the responsibilities that you have to take care of?
Make sure the place run right, the staff's there, hopefully that help service our members.
Right.
Keep the place clean, keep it running as smooth as possible. I have great guys to work with that helps. Staff's great there. Try to please the members as best as we can. We'll try to listen to everybody. We have 7,000 members, so you get a lot of different opinions, but you try to compromise with everybody and try to work out the best solutions.
Are you responsible for ordering any of the new equipments or the updating of the equipment? I mean, do you have to keep...
Yep, we just finished $1 million renovations this past summer. So, yep, we do a lot of that. We do good with the gym. We always put money back into the gym.
I know there's a new system that you have there that I haven't seen anywhere else at this point. It's kinesiology?
Kinesis, yeah.
Kinesis? Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
What are the benefits with that?
Sean will be better at answering.
Okay. But you folks got that on board.
Yep.
So what is all that about?
We do. It's actually a very interesting piece. It's a group training programming for strength training that we use in the facility, where people would train with a certified personal trainer or instructor in a small group atmosphere. So it's not like an aerobics class or group X training. It's more or less a small group personal training. And what it does is offers the client the ability to have a structured workout at a reduced cost, than a private session with a trainer. But they can get through like a workout that goes through their full body conditioning, and it's three-dimensional in nature, which is a little different than your typical conventional equipment.
Less high impact.
Yeah, it takes the, like in a normal situation for conventional equipment, you would do a chest press sitting down on a machine and you select a weight. Very common, like a Nautilus machine or a strength training machine. And the Kinesis programming is a little bit more three-dimensional in nature. What that means is people would be standing up.
Okay.
You'll be rotating a lot more, using your core, which is obviously, very, very popular in the
Stabilizing
industry,
muscles and all that kind of thing.
Exactly, yeah. So it really helps build strength training, but in a three-dimensional space, which is every client lives in a three-dimensional space.
Right.
So it's important to be able to have some sort of strength training that offers balance, flexibility, mobility, where a lot of the conventional equipment doesn't really offer that.
Now, if you walk into Best Fitness, one of the first people you ever see is Scott.
Absolutely.
Scott, you're everywhere in that gym.
Yes,
Tell us
I
a little
am.
bit about what you do there.
I'm the membership manager there, so obviously I deal with the members.
Right.
Basically help them out. If a member has a question about their membership or a certain piece of equipment, we direct them to the right people. We have a team of fitness counselors whose job is to show potential members, the gym, get them to feel comfortable, and to actually enroll the members into the membership.
All right. You folks have daycare?
We do.
Yes.
Yeah. You have daycare there. You have special kinds of classes.
Yeah, we have Group X classes from our new studio cycling classes to body pump, kickboxing, yoga, Pilates. Just
Do you do the Zumba?
I've never done it myself, but
We have that.
Anthony, I can see you doing the Zumba.
absolutely. Yeah, that's a very popular class, and we have over 40 classes every week. So there are all sorts of times, 6 a.m. to I think the latest ends at 8:30 at night.
And those are all included in the gym membership.
included, yeah.
Compliments of the gym. You don't have to pay any extra for any of that.
Interesting. All right.
Exactly.
So now you have a facility in Nashville. You have a facility in Chelmsford. These are the local, and two actually in Chelmsford, I believe.
Yep, Drum Hill and Chelmsford, Mass.
We also have one in Springfield, Mass, which we should point out.
Now, if you're a member of one, does that make you a member of all?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. So that's good.
Exactly.
And all right, so tell us a little bit more about the fitness things that encompasses when somebody walks into the door, they come to you, they get their initial screening.
Correct.
What goes on from that point on? You set them up with a personal trainer.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Every member of our facility has the opportunity to work with one of our personal trainers complimentary. So the company actually provides that service for every member that joins.
So the personal trainer is free
For the first session, correct.
for the first
Yeah,
session.
and it always is. And the principle of that is to teach them a little bit about what they need to do for their body in order to get them in shape. So we do what's called a visual fitness planner, and it's a software program that we utilize in order to get clients to understand the components of fitness that they're going to need to look at when they design a routine for themselves. Because like I said, a lot of people come in and they're not sure exactly what to do. The safe bet is to walk over to cardio and to do the treadmill, to do a
Right.
cross trainer, to do a bicycle. Those are very easy. But I think people have a little bit of confidence issues when it comes to doing strength training or free weights or things like that. So they want to have an instructor help them with that. So that's what we do. The principle is to have everybody meet with myself and like I said, my assistant Jerry, and we design something theoretically to give them a platform, and then we offer a complimentary session for a client to work with one of our certified trainers. They can help them through a workout program, show them some functional training and some different types of training styles that they could use. And if they decide to work with a trainer, it's wonderful. And if they don't, at least they have a good understanding of where they're starting from.
And the great thing about the gym too is even after that point, if they ever need help getting going on something, someone's always there to help them out. Doesn't mean obviously you're going to train them for another hour or stuff like that, but if you need to get going on a piece of machine, they can always come ask Sean or one of the trainers. We have a fitness education center where they actually go up to, and there's trainers there always available. Somebody can go up to the front. Scott and myself could help them, the fitness counselor, but always someone's there to at least help them get going on something.
All right. What distinguishes you guys above, or Best Fitness above the other?
We're a get results-based fitness center. Instead of just giving you a key tag and see you on your way, we follow up with you, give you phone calls, make sure you come in the gym, make sure you feel comfortable in the gym. We have great trainers.
You guys partied a little bit too much. You need to be at the gym this morning. Come on.
Exactly.
Do you really do
We
that?
really do. Well, I mean,
Not like that sense, but we make sure, check in with you, see if you need help or anything. We have great trainers, like, directors like Sean, and the training staff's great. So we have someone there to help. All the classes are included. Most gyms don't offer them any classes. There's all different equipment to offer for everybody's taste. It isn't just one thing. And everybody can work out there, from 14-year-olds and 9-year-olds. People want to powerlift, the people just want to run, people want to spin, all different everything. It's not categorized.
I've noticed since you've opened, since you've redecorated, if you will, there's like a little, not a boxing ring, but a place where you can you can punch the bags. They used to be in a little closet area.
Yep.
And you get the ropes and
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah, it's a functional space.
That's what that's called.
Yeah.
Okay.
What Best Fitness thought about was to design a personal training studio, and you've seen this in the industry, where if people don't go to a gym but they just want to have that certified trainer to work with them. If they don't come to your home, then you could go to their studio. And what Best Fitness did is they really saw that, and they decided that if we put a studio inside the middle of the gym, people would actually get a little bit more exposure to working with a trainer.
Interesting.
And what it does is it really opens people's eyes to, what do trainers do? How do they help them? Because the stereotypical idea of a trainer is somebody, like I said, if you watch The Biggest Loser, somebody barking at them, counting their reps, having a clipboard. There's a lot more to it.
Right. Well, typically when you go to the gym, you see the people put on the headphones. They go and they try to ignore everything. But if you're watching somebody train, you probably are more likely to ask, well, maybe I can do that.
Right.
That doesn't look too difficult. That's more inviting.
Right.
I do notice that people tend to zone out and they get into their own little zone, really.
Space, yeah. Sure.
Turn up the crank and
Yep.
whatever, and I'm going to go do my own thing.
Yep.
But it's nice that you can at least communicate.
And members can use this area, not just if you're training with somebody. It's open to all the members.
Right.
And the great thing is our training staff is awesome. They put on free demos all the time and introduce TRX and stuff like that. So they have the
What is
plyometrics.
TRX? You guys talk about that all the
He's
time.
the man to tell you.
Well,
TRX.
TRX is very popular in the industry right now. What it is it's a training tool that was designed by the Navy SEALs, a few years back, where in the combat field or on submarines, they don't have free weights. They can't bring all kinds. Sit-ups and push-ups only go so far. Right. So what they did was they designed like a strapping kind of system where they use your own body weight in order to design. You can do multiple different types of exercise and different types of movements in a three-dimensional space again. So it's very functional. That has come out in the last probably 5 to 10 years. It's been very popular. And what Best Fitness did is we brought in a whole bunch of TRX suspension straps, not just one or two hanging from a wall, but we actually brought an A-frame in and put a whole 12 straps up so people can actually use it in a group if they'd like,
Okay.
or they can just privately come over and do a couple exercises on it. But it's really nice to see that people who traditionally would lift just weights, in the past, like you said, bodybuilders and powerlifters, I got these guys coming over and now they're doing different things like push-ups and stuff on a strap, and just by simply moving your feet a little closer or a little further away, you can change the resistance dramatically.
Almost like a cross-training type of...
Very much so. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. So let's talk about no judgment zones here. Are people allowed to grunt?
As long as they're respectful.
Yes. Exactly.
Everybody's there.
Yeah.
As long as you respect each other, it's a gym for everybody.
Right.
Yep.
Like I was telling you, it goes from, you can be a runner to a spinning.
I think our oldest member's in their 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
So it's for beginners, it's for
everybody.
advanced as well. So you're not intimidated. You can just walk in, take a class, or get an instructor. So you don't have these alarms that happen to go off or anything like that.
No flashing
No,
lights.
we'd like you to try hard and push yourself. Yeah. 'Cause that's how you get results. That's the real way.
Right.
Exactly.
That's interesting. So what are the other highlights of the year? Do you have any special programs that are going on that you guys want to talk about? Do you have like a Biggest Loser type of program going on?
Sure. We actually just finished one. We offered one in the fall that was called the 60-Day Weight Loss Challenge. Very similar to kind of like the Biggest Loser type of program, where members could enroll with no enrollment fee or anything like that. Work with one of the personal trainers. We designed kind of a starting point for them, check their body composition, weigh them in, and they get 60 days from the day they start their challenge, their personal challenge, and then 60 days later they meet back and do the body composition and check their weight and things like that.
So did they win $1 million?
Not quite $1 million, but we provided some great incentives. We just finished up the contest February 1st. January 31st was the last day to finish your results, and we had some amazing results. We had a couple clients, both male and female, win the top prize, and it was 6 months of personal training for free.
Yeah, I noticed that on one of your counters you have a bunch of trophies where for bodybuilders. So you guys work with bodybuilders, obviously. Anthony, come on. You shake his arm; his forearms are like pop, 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 pop. So you work with bodybuilders as well. Do you have events that you sponsor?
Yeah, I mean, we
A lot of the members that go, they do fitness shows, figure shows, bodybuilding, powerlifting. Like I said, it's a gym for everybody. It's not a gym just for one person. Or we try to be, everybody's human. We're all there for the same reason, to get results, whatever it might be, to get in their wedding dress or to compete for a show. But the key is everybody's there for results. So that's why we're a lot different than other gyms. We want everybody, for whatever the results are, to help obtain the results.
Interesting. Yeah. So, like you said, you're goal driven and
Yep.
interesting.
Absolutely.
Are there any events that you folks are going to be sponsoring as far as?
I mean, we've done a whole bunch of different charity events. Last year we did several things. We had a blood drive at our club for the American Red Cross. We also had a cancer awareness benefit in October, and all the proceeds went to the American Cancer Society. So we like to do different outreach programs too. We're also going to be attending several health fairs, health and wellness fairs. We were at the Sky Meadow Club last year. We're going to be going to the Nashua Senior Activity Center this year as well.
Oh, interesting.
What do we get at St. Joe's? Sorry.
St. Joe's, that was the health fair. Oh, I'm
the
sorry.
Light Up?
The Lighten Up Nashua program, which is it's a free weight loss program, weight loss competition. Anybody in Nashua can sign up. You can actually have teams of 4. It's basically whoever loses, the most amount of body fat wins the prize. So they're doing different things like that, and we're sponsoring that as well.
Or do you have senior age discounts or anything like that? Or
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on down.
that's a loaded question.
We actually had a Zumbathon too over
Yep,
there.
Zumbathon,
Yeah, but we have a
yeah.
blood drive actually the February 15th this year.
This
too,
year as
another
well,
one.
yeah.
What is Zumba?
It's like this new Latin craze dance.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like to have fun, if you like to dance,
Burn calories. Yeah.
burn calories, take it. You don't have to be, the best dancer out there. Just be in the back, move, and have fun.
Well, Tracy came home one day, my fiance, and she said, I did a Zumba class. And I said, oh, yeah, what's that? And she goes,
Just like that.
Yeah.
okay. That's interesting.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
It is.
It's very,
fun.
it's very beneficial. Who's that member we had that lost about 100 pounds?
Joanne. Yeah, Joanne lost, I believe, over 100 pounds.
From eating right, doing Zumba. She's been doing Zumba and going to the gym faithfully for over a year now. With
Been a member here nationally. She goes to the Chelmsford gym too and does Zumba there. So
Chelmsford Gym's a very nice gym. I happen to frequent there periodically, and they have a ton of new equipment as well. Talk a little bit about that new equipment, if you don't mind. I know we talked about the Kinesis.
Yep.
Well, you have free weights. You have your treadmills.
Yep.
What's that new stuff? Your machines that you typically use.
Well, I mean, we had obviously $1 million renovation, and just most of the money actually, a lot of it was spent in the Nashville location, and we did a lot of upgrades in Chelmsford as well. Drumhill is a brand new club that opened only about 12 months ago, so we've invested quite a bit of money into the program and into the equipment. Upgraded the complete gym with the flooring, so all new carpets, all new flooring and rubber flooring. Obviously everything's been painted, all the equipment's been replaced that needed to be replaced. We upgraded some of the equipment, from the racks, with the dumbbells sit on, to machines, and we brought in a whole new line of hammer strength equipment, life fitness equipment, several different lines. So we've even upgraded quite a bit of cardiovascular.
Yeah, it's all state of the art, just to help hit the muscles better and keep you in.
And every TV program is on there as well. Did you have a lot of guys there watching the what do you call it, the Super Bowl while working out?
Well, we did close at 6. Sunday, the game was at 6:30. So
There you go. All
everyone
right.
was watching the game out there.
Well, everywhere you turn, there's TVs. And
It's just to bring
Right.
energy to the
Yeah.
gym, make people feel
Time goes
comfortable.
by faster when you're, if you're on the treadmill watching TV. It just goes by a lot faster. It's not as boring.
Although I must say, on Monday I came in at 6 a.m. to start training clients, and after the Super Bowl loss, it was tough to watch those TVs. When they had those highlights, I kept looking away.
Oh, gosh.
It was rough, but still got to be supportive.
Yeah. So what do we got here, guys? These are.
Those are some kettlebells.
Okay.
Kettlebells, and it's a style of functional training. It's a little different than free weights, which I think most people are very common to understand dumbbells and barbells, but kettlebells use a different philosophy. They use a little bit more momentum and more functional space by swinging kettlebells and doing squats with them. And there's a multitude of different exercises that you can do with them. But what we've found is bringing kettlebells into the facility, or TRX, or we also have like a medicine ball, where you can do different things, from ab crunches, with holding it, to functional movements. It just brings that, like I said, a whole nother functional idea into training, which is really the trend in the industry right now. I think you've seen that with PX90 and different things like that. You've seen a lot of more functional stuff and a lot more cardiovascular stuff. So one of the biggest things that we try to teach clients is getting people more understanding that cardiovascular and strength training go hand in hand. If you want to lose some weight or you want to get in shape, you can't just do one or the other. You really need to bring them both together in a program. And one of the really things that we've introduced in the last few years, and this is very common again in the industry, is the fact that you can do them at the same time.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a treadmill for 40 minutes and then go over there and lift weights after. You can literally just kind of do a little bit of everything at the same time. You can
20 here, 20 there, 20 here.
Yeah,
Makes the workout more efficient, right?
Mix it up, because guys are lifting weights and they don't rest in between sets anymore. They do like one thing to the next, like dropping, and then they might do a quick set of push-ups. They might do a couple sets of jumping jacks, some more functional stuff. And what we found, like I said, is it brings the marriage of both cardiovascular and strength training together,
Right.
which is really what most of the craze in the industry is right now. And it's really producing great results with people. They can lose weight, they burn more calories, and it's not as boring sometimes as just doing certain particular types of
And that
cardio.
really helps people with on a timely budget, because nowadays nobody has time for anything.
That's right.
So that's why Sean is great, and the staff you're going to come in for only 30 minutes 4 times a week, and we're going to get your results. This is the best thing to do within those 30 minutes.
Right. Now, I noticed you also have a physical therapy on site.
We do.
So people come in, I got a a rotary cuff injury,
Yep.
or I'm just, doctor said I need to go someplace, need to work out, but still at the same time, I got this injury with my knee. Or
Yep.
tell us a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
No, not at all. Performance rehabilitation.
Right.
Both Jerry and Michelle have been in the industry over 25 years. They work locally in the Nashua area. I've actually gone to Jerry myself for some rehab on a hamstring pull I had, or I had a ruptured bicep at one point. They're great. They're great. And what's nice about it inside the facility is the fact that, so many members exercise and they have pain and they have injuries. And
Right.
where do they go? They got to go to the doctor, get a referral. But what we have, like I said, is a clinic, a good-sized clinic right inside of our fitness center where, great, you can go in, talk to them. They can give you a free assessment. They can go through your insurance company. They can cover it. And after rehab, where do they go? Back to the gym. So it's in the gym. It's perfect. So Jerry and Michelle, like I said, with all the physical therapists, they come right into the facility with their clients and bring them to us, and then we do post-rehab with our clients. So we can really talk to the physical therapist about the prescription of activity and carry it out one step further with training.
Scott, thank you.
Sure.
Do you have like corporate rates for if a company wants to say, get a discount and get a company rate? Do you have stuff
Yeah,
like that?
absolutely. We have several different companies we work with, and obviously, all are welcome, but we do have several programs with several companies. So
BA says, hey, listen, we want to have a fitness
Yeah.
program. Can we contract with you and
yeah,
get a
we
special
actually
discount?
have BAEs, one of our
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
our
And the best
corporates,
thing,
yeah.
the best thing about our gym is always come in. You can try it out for free.
Right.
Some gyms don't offer passes. We offer free 14-day memberships. Come in, try out the gym first, see how you like it before. Actually, there's no pressure. Try it out, see how
Yeah,
you
you
like
don't
it.
have to sign right away. You try it out for 2 weeks just to see if it's something worthwhile,
Oh, that's interesting. That's a nice way to get people to
Yeah.
acclimate to the.
just to try it out,
And you take insurance forms, obviously.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
We get reimbursed every year, so.
Interesting. Great. Gentlemen, anything else? Tell us, how do people get in touch with you? Do you have a website?
Yeah, there's a www.bestfitness.net.
Okay.
Call the gym at 603-889-6186.
Okay. Yep. And they can talk to most likely you, right, Scott?
Ask for me,
Scott's
yeah,
the
or
man
ask,
to talk
or ask for one of our fitness counselors at the gym.
Okay. And if somebody wants to come to the gym, look for you, Sean. And
Yep. I mean, we're obviously all over the place. The certified trainers are on the floor quite a bit. There's a whole fitness education center, as Anthony mentioned, where it's like a big, long table with chairs and everything. They can come up and ask questions, and they can ask any questions they want as far as fitness results or trying to get in shape.
Okay. Well, there's the music, guys. So, I want to thank all our guests and our sponsors, Nashua Steam Cleaning, for sponsoring this show, and I want to thank my guests, Sean, Anthony, and Scott.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it
Appreciate
from
it.
Best Fitness. Until next week, remember, it's your city. Stay in touch. All right.